The four forces. The four forces are the fundamental forces that create matter in the universe. And the physicists at CERN, at the Hadron Collider, basically they take matter and they send it around the collider and they smash it together, and what they get is four forces. We know those forces as time, space, energy, and matter. And those four forces have some very specific characteristics. Time, for example, is yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So the force vector is in one direction. And that's really important, because the other three forces, like for example space, I could be in this space, or this space, or this space, or any space in between. So the force vectors are bidirectional, and energy and matter are the same. And so this is very significant, because what happens is that the four forces under the influence of those vectors, time pulls, because it's in that unidirectional, pulls the other three forces into a tetrahedron shape and gives us three fractals. And this is the interesting aspect of the physics, of what the physicists have found, is that of the four forces, they can only find three particles. So that three particles that they can quantify and understand, but that fourth force they just don't have an understanding of what it is. In the sense of they can't find a particle. What they're looking for is a particle, but they can't find it. So that's quite interesting. So it's important to understand that the four forces also have some characteristics. So two of the forces, the weak force and the strong force, only act in a very short space, and that means they only work across the actual size of a proton and the nucleus. So this is a very, very short distance. Whereas two other forces, the electromagnetic force and the force of gravity, have an infinite action over infinite distances. So, of the four forces, these are really important characteristics. So we have two forces that only act on a short distance, and two forces that act on infinite distances. Of the four forces, only three of them have particles associated with them, which amount to physicality that can be measured. And so effectively, these three forces, if we looked at it in the terms of time and space, we actually live in a dimension of one dimension of time, like yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and three dimensions of space.